there are definitely people who should not work with psychedelics, who should not work with the sacred medicines, just because you you might see something that is just not in accordance, or it's just too far away from your current model of reality. You know, maybe you perceive the world in such a way that whatever the plans are showing you is just so unbearably different and impossible to accept or integrate into your way of seeing the world, into way of acting, into behaving, whatever. That maybe just means that your conception of reality was not the best to begin with, best, quote unquote, not that I knew, right, but still. Or it just means you weren't able to let go during the ceremony. You weren't able to give up the control, truly let go and receive. Or another big con is if you have a predisposition for a mental illness. And in such a case, if you know that, or if you think that, then stay away from it. Then it's probably not the right medicine for you. Because it's 100% true that it can trigger something, and in such a case, it is, it is a very dangerous thing to do, obviously. Another con is if you are not researching enough. If you end up with unethical shamans, quote unquote shamans, that can be super dangerous at all. If they don't know how to hold the space properly, if they don't know their way around the spirit world, if they are just charlatans disguised as healers, but are actually just after your money. So don't just go on vacation to some guy who asks you, hey, you want to take ayahuasca? Don't do it. Just don't do it. Do your research in the internet, make sure there are good reviews, make sure you can communicate with these people, make sure you feel safe before you go there. Or contact me, I can tell you a few places. Then, another con, do not confuse ayahuasca with a solution, or with, as the solution for your problems. It is just a tool that can help you create more awareness, but in the end, it can change you, it can change your identity, but still you have to solve your problems afterwards. You have to figure out the way how to deal with, let's say, maybe your depression, or with your breakup, or whatever you're going through, right? But it is a big help. But if you're going in with the mindset of this is going to solve all my problems, you're going to be disappointed for sure. Then the integration after. Every time you work with the sacred plant medicines, there are 3 stages, right? There is the preparation phase, in which you eat in a certain way, in which you keep your system free from chemicals and sex and certain nutrition, and you just, put yourself in a state of pure, like in a purified state, in order to receive more from the plants. Then there is the navigation, which means how can you navigate the whole experience? How can you maybe control it a little bit? How can you steer it in a way that it is beneficial to you? Because that takes time to learn as well. And then the probably most important one is the integration. Because whatever you learn during those profound experiences, if you are not able to integrate them afterwards, you don't got a lot out of it, all right? But the integration phase needs discipline and change, or the willingness to change, and the willingness to make different decision back in your environment, which is obviously very difficult sometimes, but it's very necessary. But, or as well, you can only integrate what you have been before received. So in order to receive a lot, you need to be prepared properly. And by the way, that's why I am an ayahuasca preparation and integration coach, because I want to help people guide through, or not guide, maybe more assist through this whole process, make sure everything is safe, and make sure that you can get the most out of it. I love doing this I love that I found this new direction for my business, because I want to work with aware people who are spiritually in tune. And if you're already at the point, yes, I want to try ayahuasca, that means you are already quite far on the spiritual journey. So my hand is falling asleep. So then, pros of working with ayahuasca: the neuroplasticity element. So your brain, or the neurons in your brain, the the neural pathways in your brain get restructured when you, or get possibly restructured when you work with ayahuasca. Because like what one guy once said, and I love to quote this because I think it's a beautiful metaphor: ayahuasca is like the fresh snowfall on a mountain. Imagine you're on a mountain and there are 2 ski lanes carved into the mountain. When you have your skis in those lanes, it's very hard to break out of it. And that's with like reaffirmed patterns, reaffirmed neuronal pathways, like certain ways how you see yourself, certain ways how you think about something, or how you engage with other people or the world, like being very judgy or whatever, right? These things can be changed very possibly after one ayahuasca ceremony, because, as I said, ayahuasca is like the fresh snowfall. When there's fresh snowfall on these ski lanes, you can then easily drive differently with your skis. But if the first thing that you do is like going back into those old lanes, then you're stuck again. So that's why it's super important after working with sacred medicines to then have a change in your attitude, change in your environment, change in your behavior, whatever it is that you are working on, right? Because right after it is the time when we reaffirm our new identity, when we structure our new identity. And yeah, I think it's the most powerful therapy ever, like that I've found at least. Another beautiful thing about working with ayahuasca is you found a new family within the tribe where you're doing it, right? You are treated like a family member, and I'm not just saying it like that, like you can truly feel it. I feel it till this day. I reach out to these guys, I'm going to visit them again, and you're always welcome there, and you can feel it when you're there. It is truly exceptional how beautiful this community feeling is, and how healing that love is that you receive there. And the connections you make there are so deep, and they stay for the rest of your life. So yes, it's a beautiful thing. Another beautiful thing about working with the medicines is how much lighter you get afterwards. At least for me, it was like I was having a very heavy time. I was in a breakup, I was crying every day, and afterwards I wasn't even thinking about that anymore. I flushed it out in 2 weeks of ceremonies through my entire system. And when I came back, I was a completely new human being. It's incredible, the speed in which it works. You know, I was lighter, I was in a higher frequency constantly, I was so happy, and like for months and months and months, the effects, they held for so long. Yeah, but I am so ready to go back working with the medicine. So for me, I think it is now 2 years, even though I live in Latin America now for 2 weeks. I have not yet made a plan on how to go back, but it is definitely very high up on my list. So since I want to work with people, integrate and prepare for ayahuasca, or whatever plant medicine, I have to go back and get into the right vibe for it and get into a place of receiving new lessons and on how to optimally help my people, right? And yeah, another thing that happened to me, another big pro, was I was getting like on top of this hustle culture. I was getting out of that constant struggle. I was still working super hard, don't get me wrong. I probably worked harder than ever before in my life, but not out of this place of I have to hustle, I have to perform, but like I want to do this. I love doing that. I found the right ways, the right approaches on what to do and how to do it, and that made working not feel like working anymore. I could easily do 60, 70, 80 hours per week when I worked on YouTube, without that it was like you know, gassing myself out too much. But maybe it's just I love YouTube. It's a beautiful thing, you know. Back in the day, I put in so much time into the scripts and into the editing and then the thumbnails and the filming and the studio and whatever. By now, I try to make the videos more raw and try to be more, you know, channeling through the messages. Yes, I have my notes here, but I try to channel just, you know, intuitively how I feel the things in this certain moment. So it's not like a rehearsed way of saying things, because that brings kind of a distance between me and you. And even though I have a lot of more filler words like and blah, it's more authentic, it's more raw, it's more real, and it's way less work and edit and with everything, to be fair. That's definitely made my life easier as well. Anyway, it's not about YouTube here in this video. So if you're interested in working with the plant medicines, subscribe to my channel. This will be the direction in which I go from now on. And if you're interested in working with me, hit me up. I'm happy to meet. And aside from that, I hope you find a way to get on your purpose, to get like in a deeper, meaningful state for whatever you're doing with your family or with your work or with your whatever. And that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.